The city of Mbale buzzed with power, markets, politicians, flashing lights, but in its underbelly, slaves were still sold. In a dim underground auction, a 21-year-old stood in chains. His body was scarred, his eyes silent fire. His name was Sabu, the last of the Gama tribe, a people long forgotten. He didn't speak. He just watched. That day, he was sold like livestock. The buyer? A powerful government minister. Whispers followed. He's the last one, from the night of the fire. At night, Sabu dreamed in smoke. Screams. He saw his village burn. His mother's hand melt in flame. His baby sister buried under rubble. And above it all, King Dokurai, laughing on horseback. The man who had ordered the Gama tribe wiped off the map. Sabu woke up in chains, inside a city garage. But something inside him had changed. He no longer wanted to survive. He wanted the throne. Sabu met Amira, the minister's daughter. 19. Barefoot. Braided hair. Kind eyes. She gave him food when no one looked. One day, he whispered, "Why do you help me?" She replied, "Because you look like a king, stuck in chains." Later, she slipped a city map under his food tray. The city just gave him his first opening. He waited. Studied. Then on the night of a thunderstorm, Sabu broke the bars and escaped into Mbale's trash quarter. There, among shadows, he found a man named Below, a scarred ex-soldier who once served in Dokurai's palace. "You want revenge?" Below growled. "Then learn how to fight like the city does. Dirty." Weeks passed. Sabu trained in alleys, learned to fight, speak the royal tongue, wear city clothes instead of rags. Amira brought him news. King Dokurai was hosting a royal contest, open to the people. The winner would serve inside the palace. Below smirked, "It's a trap." Sabu replied, "No. It's an entrance." Inside the Golden Palace, competitors danced, fought, and spoke for the king. When Sabu's turn came, he told a story of a boy whose tribe was burned, who wore chains not by choice but by fate, and who would one day take the throne. The hall fell silent. Dokurai narrowed his eyes. Something about the boy seemed familiar. Sabu won the challenge. He was named guardian of the gates and moved into the palace. He walked past the throne room daily, saw the Gama tribe's shield mounted as a trophy. He whispered to it, "Soon, you'll come home." Then came Amira, invited as a palace guest. She gasped when she saw Sabu. "You're not the same," she said. Sabu answered, "No. I've become who I was meant to be." Mbale prepared for the Blood Moon Festival, a ceremony where Dokurai gifted mercy by executing poor rebels. Sabu had other plans. He recruited Below, palace guards, and hidden rebels disguised as staff. Amira risked everything smuggling keys into the palace. They waited for the blood moon. The drums echoed. Dokurai raised his hand to begin the executions. But the guards turned. The prisoners' chains snapped open. And from the crowd, Sabu emerged, wearing his tribal necklace, now glowing in the torchlight. "You burn my tribe," he shouted, "but not my soul." A battle broke out. Dokurai fled, hiding behind his golden throne. But Sabu found him and whispered, "Now you kneel." By dawn, the city bowed. Sabu stood at the top of the palace steps, not in gold, but in his old iron chains, now polished. His crown? Made from broken palace spears. Amira whispered, "You don't need those chains anymore." He smiled. "I wear them so no king ever forgets where he came from." Each morning, Sabu walked the streets of Mbale barefoot. People whispered, "Why doesn't the king wear shoes?" He once said to a boy, "So I never forget the dust that carried me here." One night in the palace library, Amira asked, "Are you happy now?" Sabu looked away. "I still hear my mother's screams at night. But when a mother in Mbale laughs, I feel like those screams weren't in vain. Amira held his hand, and for the first time, Sabu rested his head on someone's shoulder and cried. A small boy snuck into the palace. He stared at Sabu's iron crown and asked, "King, what are those?" Sabu said, "These are chains. The world tried to keep me down with them." The boy asked, "Can pain become power?" Sabu placed his hand on the boy's head. "That's how every real crown is made." The palace had changed, but one thing remained: the silence behind the crown. Every night, Sabu sat alone on the roof of his palace, staring at the lights of the city. He had won. He was king. Yet something inside him still felt hollow. One evening, Amira joined him and asked, "You've won, so why are you still so quiet?" Sabu replied slowly, "Victory feels empty when your loved ones aren't here to see it. My mother, my sister. I couldn't save them." Amira gently said, "But now every mother can tell her child that a slave once rose to be king. That's your legacy." That night, for the first time, Sabu took off his crown. And for once, he didn't speak to his people. He spoke to his heart. 1 year later, Sabu made a decision. He would return to the ashes of his people. He traveled back to the land of the Gama tribe, where their village once stood. Now only dust and scorched earth remained. But in the wind, he could still smell his mother's scent. Sabu knelt on the ground and whispered, "I've come back with justice in my hands." Then he planted a new flag, one with the emblem of Gama tribe reborn. It read, "From wounds we rise." The people of the city came, laid flowers. Where once there had been screams, there were now prayers. Even after becoming king, Sabu never forgot his enemies. So he created a secret council, the Shadows, made up of people who once had no voice. Street children, old rebels, and survivors like below. Each of them had a seat. Every royal decision had their input. One day, a nobleman sneered, "These people don't belong in the king's court." Sabu smiled, not angry, and said, "Then what do you see in me?" The nobleman had no answer. For the first time, the city saw a kingdom where the broken helped build the future. An artist painted Sabu's portrait, but not with a crown, not with a throne. Just a man, dressed simply, holding a child in his arms. When Sabu saw the painting, tears filled his eyes. "This is me," he said softly. "Not the man the world sees, but the man I hope to be." He had the portrait hung at the palace gates, so all who entered could see it. Below the painting were these words, "A king is not made by a crown, but by how many chains he breaks for others."